The Canadian Canoe Museum in Peterborough houses the largest collection of canoes, kayaks and related artifacts in the world. Much more than canoes, the high-quality exhibits are designed to walk you through Canada's history by telling the story of the Aboriginal peoples who all depended on Canada's extensive waterways as the highways of the north. "5 miles north of Peterborough lies Lakefield College School. It was here that 17-year-old Prince Andrew spent 6 months in 1977 as an exchange student from Gordonstown School in Scotland.
There I was the headmaster at Lakefield College School from 70 to 85, and Prince Andrew came to the school in 77. And when he was leaving, the village of Lakefield gave him this canoe, which is exactly like this one. This was built second. This canoe was built just after his canoe was built by Walter Walker. That actually belongs to John Jennings.
Yeah.
But so I was there when it was presented to him, and since that time I've paddled 5 Arctic rivers with Prince Andrew, so it's been a good relationship.
Prince Andrew paid a visit to Lakefield College on November 2012 when he was appointed honorary chairman of the Lakefield College School Foundation.
Good morning, everyone. 10 years ago today was a day just like this one. It was bright, the sky was blue. I know for you, many of us, we started that day in a very routine fashion. For me, it was to say goodbye to my wife Karen in the morning before I went to work, to give my son, who was then 3, Brayden, a hug, and my daughter then, who was 1, her hug. And the last thing that Karen said to me, he said, "Jeff, give me a call at lunchtime because we'll make some plans for this evening." As the people of New York were going through the same routine that morning, 441 emergency responders and thousands of others. They were making plans for that evening, perhaps going to one last Yankees-Boston Red Sox game, perhaps making plans to go to a Little League baseball game, a football game, perhaps going to a recital or a play with his family, or just taking the time around the supper table to have an old-fashioned family discussion. That was the start of their day. And in a nanosecond, that all changed. No more opportunities to experience a sunrise, and no more opportunities to experience a sunset. 441 and others gave their lives, made the supreme sacrifice so that others would survive on that September day. Rudy Giuliani, the mayor of New York, wrote a famous autobiography called Leadership. And in that autobiography, he spent several chapters talking about 9/11. He talked about ordinary individuals who put the uniform on each and every day, doing extraordinary things on behalf of their fellow citizens. That they did. Ordinary individuals doing extraordinary things for their fellow citizens. Today, we have a great example. Men and women with us put on the uniform each and every day. They never know what may happen during that time that that uniform is on. They serve us so very, very well in extraordinary fashion. And as we reflect to them, we should always remember what is said at the closing of remembrance ceremonies. With the setting of the sun, we will remember them. God bless you all.
This pumper is the first gasoline-powered pump. In other words, a pump that pumps the water. It's the first gasoline-powered pump that the city of Peterborough owned. It was built for the city back in 1927 by the France company. It was in service for about 20 to 25 years, and it was sold to the Baltimore Township Fire Department, and it was used for another additional 8 or 9 years there. Then it was put out to pasture, and it was discovered in a field by the Holden brothers of Port Hope, who have the Firefighter Museum, and they resurrected it, restored it, and we got wind of it, must be about 15 years ago now, I would guess, and indicated that we would be interested in buying it back if they ever were interested in selling it, and it happened that they were interested. So the Peterborough firefighters themselves, it's actually owned by the firefighters as opposed to the fire department. We raised some money to buy it, so that's how it came back to Peterborough.
So Baltimore had it?
Baltimore Township Fire Department.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, has it ever appeared in any period movies?
No, not to my knowledge. Actually, there may have been a movie in town that they used it for. Yeah, it's possible. I can't remember for sure. Yeah.
Peterborough's annual Rib Fest is always a popular event. For the last 12 years, Peterborough has held a Dragon Boat Festival, which helps raise money for breast cancer care.
Joseph Delamora and his Peace Matter crew are going to be taking the water today. It's Joseph Smith here running flyers, paddle pumpers, DAC wake makers. Number 20, Good Life Fitness. We're waiting for you. Come down to the staging area, please. Good Life Fitness, come down to the staging area. All right, race number 19, starting to make their way down the starting line. And lane 1 of Morello's, the Giga Maniacs. 5th year, racing for Morello's, your independent grocer on the SS Street East of Peterborough. The first 4 years.
This family are oblivious to the Dragon Boat race.
I think he's actually getting better as well.
And you got me wanting you. Ba-da-da-da. Oh, honey. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Sugar, sugar. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. You're my candy girl. And you got me wanting you, wanting you. I just can't believe the loveliness of loving you. I just can't believe it's true. I just can't believe it's true. I just can't believe the wonder of this feeling too. I just can't believe it's true. Oh, honey, honey. You are my candy girl. And you got me wanting you. Ba-da-da-da.
Hutchison House is one of the oldest limestone houses in Peterborough. It was built by volunteers in 1837 for Dr. John Hutchison, a native of Kirkcaldy, Scotland, and Peterborough's first resident physician. A tour guide gives us some background.
The house was built in 1837 for Dr. John Hutchison and his family. Dr. Hutchison came from a little town in Kirkcaldy, Scotland, and studied to become a doctor at the University of Glasgow and the University of Edinburgh. And then he came to North America in 1817, started in New York, moved up to Peterborough in 1818, and then practiced in this area, and then eventually moved into Peterborough proper in 1830. About 1835 or so, the town was getting bigger. Doctors in that time weren't often paid with money. It was in exchange of goods for services. So he was thinking of moving the family to Toronto. At the time, it was him and his wife and their 5 boys, and they were living in a one-room house, and it was kind of crowded. So he was thinking of moving, but the community really wanted him to stay. So they said, what would it take for you to stay in town? And he's like, I would like a bigger house. So he had bought the land. Some of the material was donated, some of it was paid for. This house at the time was also known as the bonfire house, because the families would go to work during the day, and then after their working day was done, they would come here and they'd work on building the doctor's home after their own jobs. So often at night they'd have to light bonfires so that they could see how they were working. The house was completed in February of 1837 when the family moved in, and they lived here for 10 years until 1847. At that time,
One prominent guest of Dr. Hutchison in 1845 was his cousin from Scotland, Sanford Fleming, who later created the system of worldwide standard time zones and was chief engineer of the Canadian Pacific Railway. He also designed the first Canadian stamp. Peterborough's Fleming College is named after him. The one and only Jean Kelly's father, James Kelly, was born here in Peterborough. He moved to the States and married Harriet Curran in 1906. Jean, the third of 5 children, was born in Pittsburgh in 1912. During the 1920s, Jean's father was Al Jolson's road manager. The main street in downtown Peterborough is George Street, and we can see the clock tower, the most prominent feature in town. In this area of downtown, we see the outdoor restaurants. And finally, let's take a drive through the outskirts of Peterborough on this beautiful fall day.